Months of delays, the criminal trial of Jonathan Majors began with opening statements this morning with two very different accounts of what took place in the back of an SUV between him and his now ex-girlfriend Grace Jabbari March 25th of this year. Majors was charged with multiple counts of assault and harassment for allegedly assaulting Jabbari as they were heading to his New York City apartment after going out to dinner. According to prosecutors, Jabbari saw a text message from another woman come across Majors' cell phone that read, "I wish I was kissing you right now," and grabbed for the phone. Prosecutors say when Majors tried to pull the phone back from her, he allegedly forcefully pried her finger, twisted her arm behind her back, and hit her in the face, causing injuries. The altercation then spilled out on the street when Majors jumped out of the vehicle and she tried to catch up with him. Majors' defense attorneys have maintained that it was Jabbari who was the aggressor in the confrontation. Majors filed a complaint against Jabbari, who was then arrested and charged with misdemeanor assault and criminal mischief, but the Manhattan DA's office declined to pursue the case. Audio recordings of previous fights the couple had, which Jabbari recorded, and video footage from police body cam after a 911 call was made the night in question are all expected to be played for jurors during this trial. And one of the key witnesses in this case will be the driver of that SUV. This was kind of like an Uber ride that the couple was taking. So we're going to hear from that SUV driver. That will be very important. And it's important to note that Majors has also pled not guilty. This is a trial that is expected to last at least 2 weeks. We'll have more from downtown Manhattan. Brian?
Wow, Laura Ingle, thank you. 2 weeks. I didn't expect it would be that long. You know, very few misdemeanor cases like this actually go to trial. So why did the trial against Jonathan Majors get so far? We see it very rarely. News Nation legal contributor Jesse Weber joins us now to answer that part and more. Jesse, it's always good to see you.
Good to see you.
It is interesting. I mean, you don't really see a lot of misdemeanor jury trials.
Just because it's a misdemeanor doesn't mean it's not serious. It's still a crime. And what's alleged here is quite serious. Now, the question, of course, is it's very specific issues. Did he hurt her? Did he injure her? Did he touch her? And that's complicated if you listen to the back and forth of this case. So this is a witness, this is an alleged victim who, after she was allegedly attacked, went out for the night. And it's not entirely clear if she got the injuries while out, while drinking, while clubbing, or got them from Jonathan Majors. It's also complicated by the fact that, as Laura was saying, there's a potential eyewitness to this scuffle. There's potential video of what happened. You add on to the fact that he filed charges against her at one point. They were ultimately dropped. There was a potential suicide attempt. So it's a very much he said, she said about what happened here. But just because it's a misdemeanor, which, as you know, the most that could be here is maybe 1 year behind bars, it's still rather serious given the content.
And what Laura mentioned, I mean, the fact that the driver of that SUV is going to testify, that seems big.
It's big, but also practically think about it. If you're the driver, how much are you seeing what's happening in the back seat as you're driving, at what point? So questions of even, you know, we do this all the time with witnesses you think may be a smoking gun, how much they actually saw is going to be key. Because this also could be an instance where Jonathan Majors may have put his hands on her, but was he defending himself, as his attorney said, that she said he sustained bruises. I think she also said that he ripped some of her clothes, that some of his clothes were ripped off at one point. So it's going to be difficult for jurors to ultimately determine what happened here between the two. There was clearly a scuffle, but who's to blame is going to be interesting.
Seems like this is much more about the court of public opinion. I mean, this is his career that we're talking about here. It's a misdemeanor trial, but big implications career-wise. I mean, the guy was taking off.
Huge Marvel fan. Okay, actually, huge Jonathan
Are you
Majors.
really?
I mean,
I didn't know that.
Huge Marvel fan.
Okay.
And let me tell you, he was at the height of his career. I mean, he was about to be the star of the entire Marvel universe. I sound like an expert on this, but I am. I've been following for years to come. And I mean, he was in Creed 3. He was dropped by the Army.
I mean, you're showbiz expert too. I love it. This is great.
I really, he was doing all these different campaigns. He was doing ads. He had a new movie coming out. I think it was called Magazine Dreams, and all of it stopped. And I believe his defense attorney said that it took him 30 years to get to this point in his career. And after this fight, it's all been taken away. We know sometimes the court of public opinion is not fair, but going back to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, so much of that reason that lawsuit happened was Johnny Depp wanted to reframe the narrative in the court of public opinion, and you have to say it worked. Obviously, Jonathan Majors didn't want this. He didn't have a choice about this case, but it's going to be very important to determine what happens here.